dear friends, and welcome back to Kingdom Joy, the podcast where we discover what it means to live an abundant, joy-filled life in God's kingdom, here and now. Today I want to talk about something that can stir up a lot of feelings: money. For some, money feels like security. They need it to feel safe. For others, it's very stressful. They never have enough money to cover what they need. For many of us, it's a mixture of both. But here's the truth. Money was never meant to be our master. It's meant to be our servant. And when we put money in its rightful place, under God's loving authority, even our finances can become a source of kingdom joy. I'll be honest with you, I haven't always thought joyfully about money. There were times in my life when money was very scarce and I clung to it tightly. I didn't have enough to provide for myself and my daughter. There were other times when I had enough money to cover my living expenses, but I spent too much on unnecessary things and got into debt. I always felt anxious, worrying about how I was going to pay for everything. But slowly, God has been teaching me that money is not the problem, and it's not the goal. It's not the treasure. Jesus is the treasure. His kingdom is the treasure. And my mind, my attitude to money, that is the problem. When I began to trust that He would provide for me, that I didn't need to strive or cling or fear, I began to hope that one day I would be free from the burden of worrying about money. That's still a work in progress, but God has been showing me how my attitude to money was formed from my childhood and from my parents' very similar struggles with money. It's my mindset that is the problem, not how much money I have. I have always been happier with giving money away than saving it. That's because I never felt entitled to have any money. I always felt I was taking it from someone else if I had more than I needed. But I know that for many people, the opposite is true. They want to hold on to money. They want to save it. It feels unsafe to give money away because what if you need it in the future? When we really trust God with our finances, we lose the need to hoard money for the future. And equally, in my case, I can feel entitled to actually save money, that I am able to have money and keep it. But above all, I have learnt that it is God who is providing for me today. And the same loving, generous God will provide for me in the future. He will do the same for you. When we trust God, we are set free from having to worry about money. And in that freedom, giving becomes a joy, not a burden. Because when we give generously, we are joining God in His generosity and in His mission on earth. We partner with God as we support the charities and ministries He directs us to give to. Giving money away becomes a privilege and a joy, and we are excited about what God can do with that money in the world. Jesus spoke directly about this in Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. It's so clear, isn't it? We have to choose. Money can be a wonderful tool, but a terrible master. And Paul reminds us in 2 Corinthians 9, 7-8, each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. This is the beautiful truth. God is not stingy with us. He is our provider. He gives us what we need, and often more than we expect. And in response, we are invited to live open-handedly, to bless others, to sow into his kingdom, to trust that we cannot outgive him. Here are 3 simple practices. Firstly, know yourself. Know your attitude to money and where it is coming from. Learn to recognize your money story, the story you tell yourself about money, the words you use around it. Know your history with money and why you act the way you do. Secondly, remember who you serve. Each time you make a financial decision, pause and ask, am I serving money here, or am I serving God? And thirdly, give generously. Set aside a portion, not just what's comfortable, but what stretches your faith, and give it joyfully, knowing you are partnering with God's work in the world. Friends, money will never be the source of true joy. But when we place it under the lordship of Christ, when we choose to serve God and not wealth, when we give generously and trust his provision, then money becomes a channel of joy, not a chain of fear. Thank you for joining me today on Kingdom Joy. Until next time, may you walk in freedom, may you live with open hands, and may the joy of the Lord fill every part of your life, including your finances.